Today I am reviewing the Ortofon Concorde Elite. I gotta say, this cartridge is playful, peppy, and a lot of fun. Hi, my name is Frank. Welcome back to channel 33 RPM, your channel for vinyl gear and more. Off the top, I gotta say, Ortofon sent me this cartridge for review purposes, but as always, my opinions are my own. Before I get too far into this, I want to settle something I've been hearing a lot of debate about for years, and that is how to pronounce the name of this company. I reached out to them directly and said, listen, settle this once and for all. How do you pronounce this? I asked their marketing guy that. How do you pronounce this? And the response was Ortofon. Not Ortofon, Ortofon. So there you go. The Concorde Elite, as you see here, is a premium moving magnet cartridge based on the Concorde Mark II series. The Concorde started as a hi-fi cartridge back in the 1980s, but over time evolved into a DJ cart. Ortofon, I almost cut myself there, Ortofon has taken the legacy design and tricked it out, producing a rather sleek hi-fi cart which retails for just north of $400 US. The cartridge features a new stylus body with real gold plating. Encased by the gold is a nude elliptical diamond mounted on a rigid aluminum cantilever. Ortofon says the slim profile of the nude elliptical diamond allows it to follow groove oscillations more accurately, extracting more intricate detail from the record. The product description notes the nude elliptical stylus is for listening, not for heavy back cueing and scratching. So again, it's more of a hi-fi cart than it is a DJ cart. This, by the way, is a very nice box if you care about that sort of thing. I'm not gonna get super techie on you with this review because, well, that's just not my style, but you may find this interesting. The Concorde Elite has a recommended tracking force of 3 grams. That may seem heavy to hi-fi users, and I'm just waiting for the comments. People say that this will destroy your records, but 3 grams is actually quite common for a DJ cart. If someone is concerned about vinyl wear at 3 grams, Ortofon says the tracking force can be lowered to the minimum recommended tracking force of 2 grams, but only once the suspension is broken in. I'll put some of the other technical specs here on the screen as we take everything out of the box. One more important point that I wanted to make is that this is a fixed alignment cartridge. It's designed to pair perfectly with Technics SL1200 turntables, but these will also work on any turntable arm with a removable head shell. This is important as long as it's designated for a bare-walled stylus alignment. Again, at least this is what Ortofon has told me. This is interesting. There was this information that came in the box under the category of stylus care. And I want to point this out because there's a lot of talk about the proper way to care for a stylus. And this is what Ortofon is saying directly to the consumer. It says, we do not recommend the use of any solvents of any kind for cleaning either the record surface or the stylus, as they can weaken the stylus or cause damage to the internal components of the cartridge. This is important because I have not always followed this advice through the years, right? I use a stylus cleaning brush, but I put fluid on the stylus cleaning brush. And I use fluid oftentimes on my records. They're saying do not do that because that can damage your stylus. So, good news, important, I was gonna say good news, important news anyway.
Channel 33 RPM.
All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty of this. I've now lived with the Concorde Elite for a couple of weeks. I've allowed it some break-in time, and of course I've been testing it with my Technics SL1200 turntable right there. It's been going through a pretty middle-of-the-road system. I have my Technics going through my Marantz PM 6004 amplifier, and that's fed into a pair of Fluence Tower speakers. For testing purposes, when I was doing my serious listening, I was using 2 records primarily. That's an original Canadian pressing of David Bowie's Let's Dance, as well as an early our vintage US pressing of Alice Cooper's $1 Billion Babies. Both excellent albums, really well recorded, and really, at least to me, tend to put needles, styluses, styli, all that stuff through the paces. So what did I think? I gotta say, I gotta be honest here. At first, I was underwhelmed. It sounded good, but to my ears did not sound $400 good, if you know what I mean. But once it was broken in, I could not get the smile off my face. This is a fun, well-balanced cartridge that gives the music exceptional depth. I found the Concorde Elite to be a confident performer. It tracked well, with the soundstage really opening up in the second week. It was at this point that I wanted to see how the Concorde did compare to my go-to cartridges, which include an Ortofon 2M Blue, as well as a Nagaoka MP110. I get it, that is not exactly an apples to apples comparison. The Concorde is a much more expensive cartridge, but those are the cartridges I'm used to, and that's my typical reference point. I expected the Concorde to sound better, and I wasn't wrong. Compared to my Blue, the Concorde was louder, more detailed, and a tad more mellow, maybe a bit warmer. The Concorde also picked up a little more surface noise. Concorde was also very different from the MP110. The MP110 is a fine performer, but also more understated with a smaller soundstage and not as fun or as engaging. The Concorde makes my tower speakers sound huge, filling my 10 foot by 10 foot music room with sound, with music, and the 110 is just not quite as encompassing. Now, I would be curious to compare the Concorde Elite to, say, an Ortofon 2M Bronze or a Black. I don't have those on hand, so I can't do those comparisons, but something I would like to try one of these days. All right, here is my bottom line. I love the Concorde Elite. It's detailed, lively, and a lot of fun to listen to. It's not cheap, but as with most things in life, you get what you pay for. It's funny because this is a cartridge I probably never would have considered. It wasn't on my radar at all, but now that I've tried it out, it's become my main go-to cartridge for my SL1200. Want to keep watching? Check out this video I did on the Technics SL1200. I'm not a DJ, but that is by far my favorite turntable. I'll see you there in a couple of minutes. Until then, keep on spinning.